Hello, I'm Mandy, one of the thriving women, and I'm speaking to the United Nations Committee on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights on behalf of my community here in Teesside. Our submission recognises that all rights are woven together to create the fabric of a safe, dignified and inclusive life that is fulfilled by the right to participate as an equal citizen. Unfortunately, the fight to uphold and protect these rights is a challenge we face daily from our own government's policies which have us living in a state of perpetual fear. We are just a few of the many millions suffering from these policies, which target the most vulnerable, and we represent and stand in solidarity with those who feel they have no voice. These include those seeking asylum, who can be picked up and moved across the country at a moment's notice, parents of autistic children who can't afford to replace the coat their child has chewed holes in, and dread facing any meetings filled with professionals saying they are guilty of neglect, and claimants, particularly those on disability and sickness entitlements, who are now fearful that the UK government's new welfare reforms, stating if you can work, you must work, will strip them of vital income. Draconian and austere policies only heighten our levels of fear and anxiety. Our submission highlights the inequality entrenched in the UK's social security system and how this discrimination plays a huge part in how we are valued, from not being seen as human to being continually denied access to services, being denied entitlements, or having to prove how sick and or disabled you are, and the repetitive trauma of rampant investigations and assessments leaves its mark and reinforces the message that our value as citizens is measured only by our economic status. This in turn makes us easy targets where we are demonised and abused across all media platforms, creating the myth that the most vulnerable in our country have made lifestyle choices and don't deserve support or dignity. Hitting home this reality, I will talk about one woman who is labelled economically inactive, yet has caring responsibilities for her disabled child, and is now subject to the recently announced welfare reforms which will impact her directly. She will be expected to look for work under the new reforms, subjected to an intense investigation into every aspect of her life, her disability and her role in the unpaid caring of her child. She is fearful that any undertakes carried out by the duty bearers will not consider her complex needs and be able to adapt to those needs. She is fearful that she will be assessed on her good days and not the days she is unable to function. She is fearful that her right to social security will be dependent on how the can work, must work is implemented. These reforms are already affecting her mental health, her right to family life and her general well-being. The fear of her disability entitlements being removed and being forced into unsuitable work, exacerbating her physical and mental health, is a lived reality not being listened to. And finally, a short poem. To be or not to be judged. Do you think we have a choice when you say our poverty is due to a lack of skill and being watched as a cycle? When the system having a hold causes trauma, always looking for the negative. Thank you.